Welcome, Shrewdness fans, to another episode of The Shrewdness. I'm Chiz with Dex and Prue, and today we are going to talk about everything that is happening in the world of sports. We're going to close out NHL and NBA seasons, talk a little WNBA, College World Series, and MLB.
All of that somehow.
We're doing all of the sports.
A lot of people would only do one of those for 30 minutes or 40 minutes. We're going to touch them all, baby.
All. Every single sport you've ever heard of. And after that, we're going to go into some table tennis.
And cricket.
And cricket.
European rugby updates and South African croquet.
Any sport. If you want to hear us talk about another sport, drop it in the comments. We'll look it up. We'll dig into it, man. We'll be all over it for you.
There's professional women's softball league now, I think.
That's right.
They aired it during the College World Series. I don't know if that was the best time to start it, but
we're looking into Power Slap too, right?
Power Slap. I'm gonna do a little advanced work this week in Power Slap. See what's up there.
Like, it's a real thing. Look it up. Look it up. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So, thanks for joining us. Please like, follow, subscribe. Forward to a friend if you happen to have any friends. And I hope you do. So if not, you can hang with us. We're cool with it. So let's start off with, we're going to put the bow on the NHL and NBA season. So NHL, we love the NHL, but man, we got another Florida W. And so really hoping that Mr. McDavid would get himself a Stanley Cup, but just wasn't meant to be.
Or
Florida
even a goal would have helped do
right?
that. So
a goal.
Looking to pass all the time, which I love. I love a good assist. Don't get me wrong.
I love having him as a teammate.
When you are getting ready to strike a puck 8 inches in front of the goalie, though, don't pass it backwards. Don't pass it to your left. Just go and shoot that thing. And I don't know. It's kind of weird. I mean, Draisaitl showed up for Edmonton. And that was kind of it. And the goalie, he got pulled 2-3 games out of the finals. Like, can't really win a finals in the NHL playoffs with a goalie that keeps getting yanked out.
Yeah.
Was it Skinner? I think he's the one that kept getting pulled, right?
We talked about that at the beginning of the NHL playoffs, that you got to ride a hot goalie when you get to the finals.
You really do. And like, it feels like they got to make a change there. Like, if your goalie's getting run 3 games in the Stanley Cup finals, that's not good. You gotta I don't know. I really wanted to see them, for poor Canada and for McDavid's sake, like, get it. There was a couple plays that he made. I didn't watch the whole series, but there were a couple plays that I did see where, like, he looked like everyone else was kind of standing still. Like,
he's
he would
exceptional.
Split 2 defenders and like on one skate, juggle the puck with his offhand stick and be like, "Hey guys, see if you can get it from me." And then
and they never can. And it's just so weird. He's the best player in hockey, it feels like. There's going to be arguments for other players. I got it. I know.
Sure.
But he's certainly on the short list. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
When he plays, it really looks like he's skating around with a middle school team, no matter who he's playing with. It's just awesome. But that's what made it more frustrating, that he couldn't get any more goals. I mean, he's got the talent to go past everybody, and he did so many times.
Yeah.
It's just so weird how it never translated into goals. They just couldn't do anything.
And I know we'll get some hate mail probably from Florida Panther fans, but the fan base that probably cares the least about their NHL team gets a repeat. What?
That's another trophy.
They get another trophy. All of Canada is collectively in tears for another year.
Oh, and not a year, Chisholm. So I didn't realize this. I don't even remember talking about it before, but the stat came up, and I didn't believe it. A Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup since, 1993. Are you kidding me?
No way.
I had no idea it was that long ago. I just had no clue. I assumed Toronto had to have won something at some point.
The Montreal Canadiens beat the Los Angeles Kings, and that was the last time.
Like, we hadn't even graduated high school yet. Senior year's the last time they won anything. That's unreal.
Way.
Did you realize that, though?
I had no idea.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
I would have said
lost a bet
2 or 3 times in the last 10 years or something.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if in baseball, an American team, a U.S.-based team, had not won a World Series for 32 years. Like, we would be apoplectic in the sport we invented, and that's what they're doing. They're up there, like, putting their 6-month-old kids on skates. And,
it had to be frustrating watching Winnipeg get the best record in hockey and squeak through the first round. And then just they got beat the second round. Wasn't really.
Yep.
I mean, it was competitive, I guess, but not really. And then you have Toronto, you have Ottawa, you have all these Canadian teams getting there, and just none can do anything with it. And Edmonton's kind of I guess it's a Canadian crowd favorite. I guess it's kind of the American crowd favorite too, just because of Gretzky. But they've now been there 2 years in a row, and they just kind of look like they're not as good. It doesn't matter what they do. They didn't look like they could. I know they won games. Don't get me wrong. With Ducks, they did win games. I know they did. But Florida always looked like when they needed to, they could click a switch and just start dominating.
That's right.
They passed cleaner. They feel like they had the puck all the time for multiple games. For multiple games. It felt like they were always on the offensive, and Edmonton was always in their zone, not even getting the puck out of their zone. That's what it felt like the series to me. So, I don't know. I feel like Florida's a dominant team.
Score at will. I mean, the last 2 games, they won 5-2 and 5-1.
Yeah.
Those are you're getting run in those games. And then, so that was game 5 and game 6. And
several throughout the playoffs, they had 6 goals or more.
Yeah, they're just.
I don't know if they got more, but they had several 6.
The lowest that they scored in the finals. So it went 6 games. The fewest goals the Panthers scored was game 1, and it was a 3-goal game. They scored 3, and they lost 4-3 in overtime.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was the last good game.
Then game 2, they won 5-4 in overtime, and I thought, man, we're in for a great
scorefest
finals.
Yep.
And then it was 6-1 in game 3. Panthers just blew them out. Oilers had to squeak by in game 4 in overtime, 5-4, and then the wheels came off 5-2 and 5-1. So
they just ran out of gas after that one. I mean, they had to come back, and it was awesome, but they ran out of gas after that. They just looked like an empty balloon. They looked like a flat Coke, no caffeine.
For sure. So NHL season wrapped. It's still always fun to watch. I would have liked to have seen the Oilers kind of close out a nice little storybook ending, but the Panthers, I will give credit. It's
better
hard
team
to repeat in any sport, and they've done it in 2. I mean, their 10 fans are jacked up, and that little what do you call a parade with like 6 people attending? What do you call that? Is it a parade at that point, or I'm not sure.
I mean, they got out of school. No, they didn't. They didn't.
Event.
So. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's stuff going on.
Is that a festival or something?
A gathering.
The senior citizen population in Florida did not turn out in record numbers for the parade. But
they should have had bingo. More people show up for bingo.
Bingo / celebration parade.
Exactly.
So let's turn the page to another sport that just ended. Matter of fact, last night, the NBA, and I say we had a game 7. This ended up being quite a series.
It's a great series, yeah.
Between 2 teams that were really fun, one team that was throughout the year the best team, and then a team that just kind of had that like chemistry and it factor, and
they refused to
everything
lose.
Coming together.
Yes, sirs, the Pacers, man. So that team, it was. What's funny about this is had to be the first time ever. I didn't look it up to verify. But the Pacers were the underdog all 7 games. They were never favored, even at home, even after winning by 25 points, even after winning by 30 points. The closest they got, I think, was plus 6.5. I think that's the closest they were, even at home. Right. I'm like, no respect all series. I love the fact that the Pacers kind of gave it out the whole time. And you never know. I mean, that game is actually really good, just with TJ McConnell filling the void and trying to be his best Halliburton imitation, but they missed too many threes. They're so sloppy. The one-handed passes, like, man, Gene Hackman's rolling over in his grave right now. You got to do the 2-hand pass. 2-hand pass, Jimmy Chitwood. Come on, man.
Two-hand pass. And the thing that I hated is like, listen, Oklahoma City is a fun team to watch. They're a good team.
They are. They're athletic and the youngest team to win it, right?
Yeah, and probably the deserving champion because of their regular season and how well they played. But I just hate seeing a championship game determined so early by an injury like that. And when Halliburton went down, now the reports today are that he could be out all next season. And he was really kind of like, this was a rising star for them. And for the NBA, kind of another guy who could really draw eyeballs. I started watching their games just because of him.
That's
Dexter was talking about Halliburton.
Charisma, baby.
Great Halliburton. And I'm like, I'll start watching him. And he really he had a lot of star power. And to see him go down like that, just brutal. It kind of took the air out of everything. And you kind of knew Oklahoma City was going to win then, but I'll give Indiana credit. They hung around and stayed tough till about midway through the fourth quarter,
Yeah, they came back. They even brought it down in single digits again because they got kind of blew up to like 18 or something. And then they brought it all the way down to 8, and then they missed a 3 that would have put it to 5, I think. I'm like, oh my gosh. But then they just immediately gave up a couple turnovers in a row, just a couple shots, and then 8 more points, and it's back to 18. I'm like, good Lord, it goes fast in the NBA.
Yeah.
You miss a couple shots and have a couple turnovers. You just gave up 10 points. It's now like it was close, and now it's not. And they had that a couple different times. So a couple different times they had that, and they blew the one game. So that's going to haunt them. I think it was
for sure.
Was it game 4? I can't remember exactly what. It was either 4 or 5, whichever one they blew. They had a big lead, and then they just coughed it up, and OKC came back to win.
Yes.
Oh, they're going to look back and just be sick at themselves for that one. Even though they kind of got away winning some they shouldn't. But
they lost game 4 by 7. That's probably the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that was the game that they got outscored 14 points in the fourth quarter.
That's the one. Yeah.
So they were up 7 going into the fourth at
How do you
home.
lose? And then they just started playing stupid, man. They started just doing the type of basketball in the NBA these teams do, losing every single time. Dribble, clear out, shoot, brick, rebound the other way. It's like, I don't understand. You have to just have a dude that's on fire with NBA Jam shooting fireballs. If you don't, that just is a turnover because you guys aren't even rebounding anymore.
Yeah,
it never works.
Right.
They started doing it, and then all the momentum's gone. And what's funny is they are a very good team, kind of like the Celtics, kind of like OKC. They're good at passing the ball around and playing a game that resembles like basketball that we knew of growing up and watching and being coached, our age generation. We didn't do whatever the hell they're doing, just stand around and don't move ever, don't set screens ever, don't come toward the ball ever. What the hell kind of basketball is that?
You're right on the isolation. Like, you got 4 guys that just go stand on the other side of the court.
Right.
That is so easy to defend from a rebound standpoint that you're essentially giving up the chance at a rebound.
Yeah.
And a second chance.
And an easy shot, easy layups.
Yeah.
Like, how many times the give and go still work?
Yeah, well, there's no motion on the other half of the court. You're basically
brutal.
saying, well, it's either I'm going to score or you're going back the other way.
Yeah.
That's a great point. And the fact that, like, this was a finals that I was kind of interested in, and I haven't been interested in a lot of NBA in many years, but I was interested in this because you kind of had 2, like,
someone's going to get their first.
Interesting teams, right? It was going to be their first. Overall, as a league, the NBA is really going to have to figure something out because their ratings are going down. If you look at when the NBA was its most popular, it was the 90s.
When they played basketball.
Jordan, and I get it's Jordan, but they've had plenty of superstars since then, in theory, and it's continued to drop off. And I think it's because it's become a league that's like a 3-point shooting contest for the most part.
It is.
There's no mid-range game. There's no Timmy Duncan doing the post-up off the board.
There's no Hakeem just doing some sky hooks.
That mid-range game is gone, and I don't know how you fix it is the problem. I don't know how you fix it because there was discussion around you could push the 3-point line back further. Well, you can't really.
They can shoot they already shoot 10 feet behind the line. You can't put the line back far enough.
And the side, when you're on the side, there's like just enough to get your feet in right now and shoot a 3-pointer. So it's like, what are you going to do? How do you incentivize it? I've heard some interesting ideas, especially about like in-game situations so you can avoid a lot of the like fouling and like drawing stuff out. But it's got some worries moving forward. They're going to have to figure out the load management thing too. People are tired of that. And these are the guys that are making the most in all professional sports.
Yeah. And they don't play that many games. It's 72 or whatever the heck.
No.
82.
It's
82. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
which is the same amount as hockey. And
they don't
those
get
guys
too many rest days.
Take a day off. And I don't care what you say. That's more physical. That is
Bobby Witt plays
more
162 a year in baseball. And I get it. But they're not sitting out in the sun for 3.5 hours either.
Right.
I mean, tell me these games are super fun right now in the Midwest.
Right.
Or Texas.
Right.
Just go play in Texas at all in the summer.
Right.
And brutal. I know summer domes now, but geez, in general, it's hot. It's a hot sport.
Yeah, absolutely. So, which brings us to a sport that's actually increased its ratings, which is hard to believe.
Is there one?
Someone who mocked it, the WNBA. And
that can't be true.
If we turn to the WNBA, you say, well, why has the WNBA increased its ratings? What do you guys think?
Well, Caitlin Clark is getting just beat on all the time. I think we were talking in our Patreon about UFC fighting and how it's just kind of a violent sport and people just kind of and they rush towards it. We talked about it in hockey a few episodes ago that it's kind of fun having legal assault out there. You smash people on the boards and do everything.
That's right.
Well, now in basketball, in the WNBA, they've decided we have one player that people watch. Let's try and hurt her. That sounds like the answer to our problems, to hurt the best player in the league so she can't play anymore and doesn't want to play anymore. So then no one will watch it again like it used to be. We want to go to the good old days of 0 ratings. What are they doing? Idiots. But that's my guess. Where am I at?
Totally agree.
You're right. It doesn't make any sense. You
take out Tiger Woods' legs during his 2000s. Like, why would you do that? Jesus, Nancy Kerrigan.
You have Michael Jordan. And exactly. You have Michael Jordan of your sport, and she's there. And I know that, there's a lot of jealousy going on in the WNBA.
There's a lot of Tanya Hardings out there, Chisholm, and the people that don't know who that is, Google it, and then you'll
look it up.
I get it. I get what you're saying. That makes sense. Yep.
They do not like that she has come into the league, and all of a sudden people are watching. They should be like golf was with Tiger, where hey, they didn't necessarily like that he was dominating them, but they liked the paycheck that came along with Tiger dominating them.
And people showing up all of a sudden.
Right.
The revenue it generates will eventually trickle down to the rest of you.
That's right.
And it already is.
But they don't seem to get that. And the weird thing is the refs don't seem to get that. So I understand that people beat the crap out of Jordan in the 90s too, but the refs took care of Jordan. At the end of the day, it was like, don't be jacking with Jordan too much or we're going to kick you out of here. Some of the stuff that's going on to Caitlin Clark, there was a dust up that happened a few days ago. It got a lot of coverage.
Yeah. She's just getting pushed and thrown down.
Play was over. I was like, what is this, professional wrestling? Nobody got called on anything.
It's unreal. There needs to be just absolute suspensions going on.
There needs to be suspensions. When you go after the face of the league, I know people are like, oh, it's got to be evenly officiated. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. When there's one person that's making you all the money, no, you protect her. I'm sorry, you do.
Yep. There's a difference in ignoring her carrying the ball 5 steps or whatever, traveling to gain an advantage versus protecting her from injury.
Hey, don't bring LeBron into this, Pruitt.
The sad part is I was watching part of a game the other day, and it's just the opposite. She was dribbling with the ball, and the girl that was guarding her fell down, and they showed the replay, and Caitlin Clark actually didn't touch her.
Yeah.
And they called it charge. And I was like, what in the world? This is
do they not have replay
behavior
in the WNBA? Because I noticed in the NBA they do, and they'll overturn calls. You get to challenge, but I feel like it's not happening in the other league. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And we keep seeing this stupid stuff, and frankly, I'm only seeing it on highlights because I still can't really watch it. It's just still not interesting enough for me to go past Scott Van Pelt, SVP highlights and highlights only.
That's fair.
So I get enough in my 5 minutes of coverage.
Yeah. The rest of it it's not that compelling. I will say.
I want you to tell the story that we told during Patreon about the bet for Angel Reese in the first shot.
Yeah, that's great. So for those of you, I should have gotten their names to give them fair credit, but we'll look it up and put it in the comments. But there was a group on YouTube that was taking money and betting that Angel Reese would miss her first shot of every game, and every time she missed it, they just let it ride and go to the next game. And I mean, it got up to over $250,000 because they would film themselves watching her shoot, and they'd be like, "Yeah!" And of course, she missed it every time. Like, exactly. She missed it every time. Then she'd get a me-bound, which is what you call an Angel Reese rebound, a me-bound, and she got a lot of those. But like, she's supposed to be like, I guess, the next best player, and it ain't even close. It's
man.
Really?
There's no way.
Like Paige Beckers showed up. She already filled that role.
Yeah.
Paige Beckers is legit.
Yeah. Like Angel Reese, you're not that good. You're flashy, you got long nails, and you talk a lot of shit. You got your own style. You're just not that good. I mean, you have rebounds because you keep rebounding yourself. Exactly right. You can jump higher and you're bigger. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
I will say
exactly
a smart move from a PR standpoint.
Absolutely.
Well, and Sophie Cunningham. We like Sophie because she's a Mizzou girl, but she retaliated to some fouls that were done against her teammate Caitlin Clark. She got kicked out of the game because she basically tackled a girl who was going in for a layup.
It was a good tackle.
But it was a good tackle.
There's some hair pulling. There's some all sorts of stuff going on.
If you're gonna foul, don't let him hit the shot. And she didn't let him hit the shot for sure. And now she's getting some notoriety, and people are liking her. So for ratings, this is probably good. But at the end of the day, we were discussing in Patreon, the person carrying the league is Caitlin Clark, and if they keep just abusing her and
she's gonna get hurt bad
because she could actually really get hurt. To your point, it could be like, I can't play anymore, get hurt, and at some point she could pick up her flag and be like, I'm starting the Caitlin Clark League, and who wants to come with me? And she would kill them in ratings. She would put the WNBA out of business.
It doesn't take like you were saying before the show. If she's not playing, ratings drop off significantly that game.
Huge,
right? It doesn't take long for people to lose interest when she's not playing. Turns
into a Florida Panther championship celebration real quick.
Yeah.
All 8 of those people are still there, still cheering, but no one else is watching. It ain't like a...
It's very objective that the crowds are bigger when she's there.
So it's going to be interesting to see if they respond to this, because there's been a lot of noise about it.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking I'm going to be out of town this weekend, but Caitlin and the Fever are coming to Dallas this weekend, or I probably would have gone to that just to see her live. But I'm going to miss it. But it'll be interesting to see how that game plays out, because there's a lot of eyeballs now.
They do need
how they're going to treat her.
Her teammates need to learn from what's her face's example, right? And go to protect their teammate.
From Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham.
And when there's significant contribution by the entire Fever to protect Caitlin Clark, other teams will start backing off.
Hey, there's a reason that Jordan had got Dennis Rodman.
Yeah,
right.
And let's also talk about another sport that's always kind of self-officiated: hockey.
Mm-hmm.
So Gretzky, Sidney Crosby, fill in the blank. All the star players anywhere, Pavel Bure, they all had some big meathead who could barely skate. It didn't matter. He only came on the ice if you did something stupid to their star player. He would be a tripod.
Yep.
Slowly getting towards you. And then you just throw his gloves down and start beating the tar out of people. It just stops things.
Yeah. Every team has an enforcer, right? And they do their job.
Received. For the Blues for many years, it was Tony Twist. Tony Twist.
Yep.
You look at Tony Twist's stat line, it was like goals 0, assists 0, penalty minutes 735.
He skates around the rink like this guy right here, right?
Marty McSorley, that's the one I was trying to think of. I couldn't remember.
Oh, yeah.
So Marty McSorley is the one that just come and just wreck people. Yeah, like he only came on to punch people.
So Caitlin, if you're listening, Find yourself a Tony Twist.
You need a Tony Twist. You need a McSorley.
And they only need to come in for a couple minutes. Hell, 30 seconds, probably all they need.
Those are guys that would half the time they'd come off the bench and forget their stick. It was like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to have a stick, aren't I?
Legally, I have to have one of these.
I started with no gloves and no stick. It's just extra crap to pick up later.
So that's it on WNBA. We had to talk a little bit about that because it is interesting and it's been in the news a lot. So we want to touch briefly, before we get into Major Leagues, we want to touch briefly on the College World Series. Always a fun event.
That's right.
Even if you don't like college baseball and you don't track it, when it gets to College World Series time, it's kind of fun because you're going to get a lot of MLB prospects playing these games and just good teams. Like, they just play good ball.
Yeah. So I got the privilege of being there last week. So LSU and Arkansas was arguably could have been, and some argue it should have been, and we'll talk about that too. They got put in the same bracket though, so only one could advance. So the two highest seeds were Arkansas and LSU, and they were in the same bracket. Really so only one could go to the College World Series finals. It was like,
I really wish they would reseed in the College World Series.
That's exactly right. That's where we were at. Because you looked at the top bracket. I mean, Murray State, UCLA, I mean, not real challenging. They're not bad teams, right? No one's bad in the final eight. But LSU and Arkansas are arguably the best in the country. And then Coastal Carolina hadn't lost since April or something stupid.
You're right.
And so those were the three teams. Everybody's kind of like, well, that's probably going to be one of these three teams. But the unfortunate part is for Arkansas is that they had to go through the LSU bracket and vice versa. I mean, LSU had to go through Arkansas. So it just kind of made it tricky. But those teams were really good. But
if you watched it, game 2, Arkansas lost the first game. It was a close game. I think it was 3-2, something like that. It was a real close game. So they went to game 2. Of course, it's a double elimination. And we've got some of the footage here we're going to break down of the fateful 9th inning. So if you're an Arkansas fan, turn away. This is the time to stop listening.
Another 9th inning to forget.
Because they are snake bitten for sure. But this is the 9th inning, and you'll see this is the leadoff hitter, and it's 5-3, and there's already one out. So you're like, hey, man, like we're cruising. We just need 2 more outs. We're going to game 3. We got a good shot because we're Arkansas, and we're probably the most talented team in college baseball, top to bottom from a roster standpoint. So on the second pitch, ground ball, first base. First baseman takes it
and he throws it away. Pitcher even covered.
And the catcher overran it too.
Yeah,
such a bad throw. The catcher couldn't back him up.
The catcher couldn't back it up. It was such a bad throw. So that was error 1. You could have argued like maybe the second baseman should have taken this ball.
Yeah.
If you look at the I'm playing it again here. If you look at it here, it looks like if the first baseman second baseman could have had that ball, if the first baseman broke. Got it. I can't blame him for trying to get it, but
I mean, Curiel was probably going to beat it out anyway. Derek Curiel, by the way, freshman phenom for LSU. What a stud. I guess he's from the Henderson, Nevada area. To come in as a freshman and be that dominant first year in the SEC, and then just keep making play. I feel like he batted 800 in the College World Series. I don't know if that's true, but it's probably pretty close.
Next batter walked, so now you got first and second, 1 out instead of nobody on 2 outs.
Yeah. I mean, all he needs is double play to get out of this thing. I mean, surely you can hit a tailor-made double play ball right to the shortstop or something, maybe.
There's like you're feeling. Oh wait!
Oh, there it is. 6-4, 3.
6-4.
No,
wait, what?
6-5.
Why am I throwing the third?
That's
so
weird.
2-run lead.
There's a 2-run lead, and you're like
the lead runner instead of taking the double play.
So, like, and you look at the replay here. Oh wow, yeah, he's way out at second. It would have been way out at first. Like, that was the ball game right there, right? So you're like,
yeah, and Milam is really fast, but it's like
we got 1 out. You know, it's like it was definitely a mental error by the shortstop. Poor guy. You got to go for 2 there, but okay, you think. We still, we're up 2.
And that's Wahiba Aloy, by the way. So Wahiba Aloy is a shortstop for Arkansas. He's projected to be the 17th overall pick in the draft. I mean, he is really good. So that was kind of like, ouch, that kind of sucks. Right. But here we are, first and second, 2 outs. All you got to do is get 1. Any base, infield, any base. outfield, just make a catch. All you gotta do is make a catch.
Right? Just don't give up a home run.
Ball game over. Line drive to left field. Off his melon.
What?
A melon ball.
What just happened?
Oh, I can't believe it. And then it could have gone anywhere, and instead it goes off his melon to the farthest crevice of the field in left corner. Like, it doesn't just go off his head forward where you're like, oh, I can probably still keep this other guy.
Place. Like, how in the world, you'll see here when they get ready to show the replay, it looks like he got his feet tangled a little bit, maybe. Like, he was going to go into kind of a dive, but he started to fall. And then, like, he didn't need to dive. Something happened here, and then, and then you're right. To Dex's point, like, it went straight for the fair pole. It was like, what's the farthest place away from you? Oh, yeah, the fair pole.
Over to that far corner.
2-run score. Like, it was like, and so at this point, if you're an Arkansas fan, you know, you've been here. This is like Chiefs fans pre-Patrick Mahomes. You already know what's going to happen, Arkansas fans.
You've seen that foul ball drop a few years ago.
But surely, like, maybe Arkansas will get a break, right? And
we just got to get to the 10th.
Second. Yeah, just get the extras. We can regroup.
Notice the second baseman playing up the middle a little bit.
Like, right where you should be. Got the perfect position.
Scouting report.
Oh, line drive out. Oh, off the glove again. Just can't buy it.
Just brutal. So this is where I have to give a big apology to one of my Arkansas friends, Jason McGarr. Shout out to Jason McGarr. Special heartbreak for Jason McGarr. So lifelong Arkansas fan, right? And even worse, he had bought a ticket for he and his son to go to the weekend series, the final series, should Arkansas win. They were watching this game together. His poor 17-year-old son was like heartbroken because they weren't going to Omaha anymore. And the way they lost.
That's brutal.
God, like, I mean, there were 4 plays in that inning.
In one inning,
Ground ball to first.
Yeah.
Which, error. He may have been safe, but still, error.
Yep.
The double play ball.
That you just threw to third for the force out.
Threw to third. The head ball in left field.
Right.
That sucks.
Even if you drop it and it stays in front of you, doesn't give up the 2 runs.
It's only 1 run.
That's right.
The other guy wouldn't have scored first.
And then the off the glove. It was a hard play, but
you needed another half an inch on your vertical.
Because we were talking in the Patreon, like, the worst part about it was he just slowed it down enough that, like, you couldn't throw the guy out at the plate. Like, if he would have let the thing go through to center, probably the runner doesn't score.
Like I mentioned, too, the guy had him played perfectly. Like, he's up the middle like he should have been. That's where he hit it. Just an inch too short, right? And if he's not playing there and the ball gets straight through, it's a pretty easy throw home.
Yeah.
Probably cuts him down at the plate.
So that was the game that kind of felt like the College World Series final, but
yes, for sure.
Alas, so LSU made it through on that win, and they got to play Coastal Carolina, the hottest team. They hadn't lost a game forever. The entire regionals, super regionals, they hadn't lost one game, and they were hot coming in there. So I got to go see the Wednesday game against Louisville. So Coastal Carolina put up 6 in the bottom of the first, and that was kind of the end of the game. Like, oh, that was fun. Well, these 10 minutes were worth it. And then it was just 103 degrees in the stands. It was like awesome. Coastal Carolina came in against LSU, and it had a chance to be a really good series, and it was. I mean, the first day, game 1, they tossed Cade Anderson. So LSU's got the number 1 projected pick in the draft, Cade Anderson, who just is stupid good. He's really, really, really good. He just dominated the game. He's striking out everybody. I think he threw 120 pitches. They tried to pull him out in the 9th, and he's like
130.
He gave the Nolan Ryan shake. 130 pitches and just dominated. And complete game shutout nowadays. We were talking a couple episodes ago. It just doesn't happen. Like, it used to be a stat on a baseball card that people were like, oh, he had 4. That's pretty cool. Oh, 2 shutouts this year. It's always 0. It's 0 for everybody. And, like, maybe Paul Skeens will get 1. And no one gets to pitch the 9th anymore, ever. And especially once they give up that hit in a 1-run game, the manager's always going to I'm not going to let you get the loss. We're going to bring in our closer. He's going to throw 105, and we're going to see what happens. And they actually let him stay. He talked his way into it. and finished out game 1. So it was a good game. It was a great pitcher's duel. I liked the game. A lot of people are like, "Oh, no scoring, it sucks." I'm like, not if you love baseball. That was fantastic.
No, that was a great game. Well, and in game 2, so I'm going to show everybody the defining moment of game 2, and this is a discussion that I wanted to have with the guys here. Share my screen here. So game 2, first inning, pretty important game, right? It's
Indeed.
game 2 of the College World Series. Here we are, and there's an argument because if you watch the game, there was some really, really bad calls in the first inning. Okay, it was bad. The umpire proceeded to kick out Coastal Carolina's coach in the first inning of the deciding game 2. Well, this was a beautiful umpire, just fell backwards on himself. I want to show this again because some people said, "Oh, well, he pushed the umpire." He didn't push the umpire.
Windy.
Okay, that's just lack of coordination on that dude's part. I want to show it again because it's so awesome. What? Dude, stand up. So they kicked him out, and from what I can see is that he says right here, "You missed 3 pitches." Okay, let's see here again. What? You missed 3 pitches. You missed 3 pitches, and he got tossed
because they're throwing their ace. So the manager is trying to get the strike zone in order because Jacob Morrison was pitching, and he is also a phenomenal pitcher. That's their ace. So they were pitching their ace in a potential elimination game.
You just wanted to show the umpire falling down again. Both feet up in the air in front of thousands of people you can't recover from that.
No, it's so good. He tries to pop back up too. It's like nothing happened. I meant to fall backwards. Yep, I'm good.
Nobody saw that.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, so that was a rough start. And
what I wanted to show that for is so that umpire, I forget his name, he was actually fired from Major League Baseball. He was fired. And he should be fired from college because here's the deal. When you're an umpire in the second game of the College World Series, the deciding second game, the dude better be saying something about your mother and, unnatural acts for you to kick him out of the game. And it's the first inning. So it's not like he's been chewing on you for an extended period of time and your fuse has been lit. This is the case of an umpire thinking it's about them. And it pisses me off because I'm like, not about you, bro. Not
Same
about
with
you.
basketball
Take it.
refs too. That was happening in the basketball finals too.
You got to take it a little bit because this manager is in the second, he's trying to win a championship. He wants his kids to have the best chance. You missed 3 calls. I did go back and look at the strike zone. You missed them. So he missed the 3 calls. The guy's chewing on him and you kick him out. Come on, man.
That's 5 or 6 months of work, right? To get to that point.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And you kick him out.
Make it be something.
Super disappointing that was and it's unfortunate that happens in that game. And there was a lot of heat. I think deservedly so.
I agree.
Pretty weak.
It just kind of
gotta
messed
be a longer
up the
leash
flow
there.
of the game, and it kind of it's not a Halliburton injury like the NBA Finals, but you lose your manager who's led you to months of wins in a row, and you probably had a strategy and a game plan. I know the other coaches; they know what they're doing. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the same. Different.
No,
and it wasn't something that's going to motivate the team because it's the first inning. It's kind of demoralizing.
Right. So they ended up losing the game to LSU 5-3. LSU won their second national championship in 3 years, which good on them. That's impressive for sure. But I hated that was kind of how it started. That's who it was. That's right. It was Campos was the umpire's name that kicked him out. I don't know if you guys remember that name, but he was
ring a bell.
He was arguing with Campos, and then after the game, they gave him a 2-game. They also gave the Coastal Carolina coach a 2-game suspension for quote bumping the umpire. And
we just watched here.
It says if you watch the video, there was a guy who comes in extremely aggressively, tripped over Campos's foot, embarrassed in front of 25,000 people, and gets a 2-game suspension.
That's the 2 he showed.
Said there was no bump. He said, "I shouldn't be held accountable for a grown man's athleticism."
That's awesome. Wow. I missed that quote. I love that.
Which is a pretty sweet comeback.
Yeah.
Quote.
At the end of the day, LSU has a lot of pitching, a lot of depth, and a lot of hitting,
a
lot of clutch hitting. They had so many 2-out RBIs in this tournament. So many big pitches when they needed it, made plays. They're the best team in the country. It looked like it. So
for sure.
They played their way through a very challenging bracket. Beating Arkansas is kind of like winning the College World Series the first time. Then they had to beat Coastal Carolina, one of the hottest teams in baseball, the second.
They earned it.
And they had to beat them twice. They had to beat a team that hadn't lost in a month and a half twice.
Yeah.
And projected number 1 pick in the MLB draft later this month. So that is, way to go, LSU. That is a real win. That's awesome.
It was. They definitely earned
congrats
it, for sure.
To Go Tigers.
And College World Series is always fun. So
and if you haven't been there, have you guys been there for a game before or been there for the atmosphere?
I haven't.
It is unbelievable. I've now been twice. So I went a few years back when Ole Miss won and got to see them. They either won like 2-1 or 1-0 in a very close game. It was
remember
awesome.
That series.
And then this one was pretty cool too, just to see Coastal Carolina. I mean, you didn't really know who you're going to get. We had tickets so far in advance, and the brackets weren't even set yet. It was just like TBD versus TBD, and Wednesday at 1:00. It's an awesome experience. All sorts of stuff and activities. They have all these specialty bats. They have specially one-of-one gloves, like limited made. So if you're like a collector of any of that sort of stuff, one of the coaches for my son's team, he ended up getting, I think, 7 gloves. So 7 Rawlings gloves. They're all limited edition. He got 3 combats. They're all limited edition paint jobs. It's just like, well, I knew once I saw this trip was booked, I had already set the money aside. I knew what I was going to do.
Started budgeting for it, right?
Absolutely. But it's fun, and it's just to have that kind of thing. If you're a baseball geek, you'll love it. It can't go wrong. There's no such thing as a bad game in Omaha or a bad time.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. So props to Omaha for putting on a heck of an event each and every year for baseball fans.
Very cool. Disappointed for us and for our fans that you didn't live stream from the event. But you know what? That's okay. No big deal.
It was so hot. You wouldn't want to see me. It was just a pit of sweat everywhere. Hey, I'm John Dexter with the shrewdness. I would have been joined by, 30,000 of my closest friends doing the same thing. But yes, some things are better left unfilmed.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm sure there are plenty of overweight people with fans and not many clothes on.
So great.
That's all we need. You don't need more of that.
These guys who play the College World Series aspire to play in the major leagues, which is where we'll go next. Yes. A lot of them will be drafted, and we just wanted to give everybody an update on what's going on in major leagues, because this is what we got now. This until football season, guys. So it's kind of the period of sports that some people think is the dry period.
I love it.
Shrewdness, we see it as a good time because we love baseball and we also love prepping for NFL. And so it's a busy time for us. We're going to have a lot of content coming out, getting you ready for the guillotine season and the NFL season just in general. And then we'll keep you up to speed on baseball for sure. So, Prue, what do you see going on in baseball that you want to talk about?
We haven't done a Royals episode for a week or two. I had the honor of going to the Alex Gordon Hall of Fame induction for the Royals,
right?
Which was a couple Fridays ago. A really, really great game. The Royals did not win, but there was a great turnout of ex-Royals, Ned Yost and Bo Jackson and Eric Hosmer, Luke Hochaver.
Very cool.
George Brett, of course. So very cool time. Got to see Alex Gordon inducted into the Royals Hall of Fame. It's Fireworks Friday. Got to go out on the field after the game and watch fireworks. Great time was had by all. So
is that field thing something you can do every Friday night Royals event, or is that a one-time thing for this Hall of Fame induction thing?
They offer it for each time they do the Friday night fireworks, I think.
That's pretty cool.
It's pricey, but it's worth it to go do it once.
Yeah.
Right?
Got some great pictures out of it.
Experience of being out on the field.
Yeah.
So was it just was it like smooth as a baby's bottom out there?
Yeah, you could putt on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's what I expect too.
It was nice. And my first, I made a beeline for left field, got my Alex Gordon bobblehead and sat it down in left field and took some pictures. It was a very cool experience.
That's very cool. That is a great lifetime experience for sure. A little bit different than the fields when we were growing up. Some of the fields that they played Major League Baseball on, it was like, and even Major Leagues. Like I was thinking about, there were so many that were dual purpose football and baseball. So it was like, you didn't really know what kind of hop you were getting. Chalk lines in the outfield, like we've come a long way with these like perfectly curated fields that all of them play on.
Yeah, I had to estimate where left field was because there wasn't like a dugout spot like there is in Little League.
Right. Just a circle of death.
Where
everybody stands
left field,
here.
You go stand in that hole right there. Anyway, the bad part of that situation, it was right in the middle of the Royals' losing streak. They've been not so great here lately. They lost 6 in a row, then they won 4 and showed some signs of life, and now they've lost their last 2 again. So they're kind of painting a bad picture, setting themselves up to be sellers, it looks like.
It feels like they're going to do exactly what they love to do, which is put themselves right on the fence of selling and buying so that they don't know exactly what they want to do, and they do a little of both. And
yeah. Well, and for this team, and I was talking to another Royals fan about this, what do you sell? I mean, we don't really have like what other contenders out there like, ooh, give me fill in the blank guy, right? Like, I want to know who that is because it's the top 5 we're not getting rid of. And we're not getting rid of Garcia's played his way into not being traded. So it's like, what? So I don't even know who you would trade.
What do you sell? Because you're right, Dex. It's like, are you going to get rid of one of your 5 pitching staff? Like, doesn't really make any sense because they're all in a spot where you can have them next year. So, like, you really want to trade Cole Reagans for, And
nobody wants a prospect to help their playoff run.
Yeah, and Zerpa, I mean, some of our bullpen arms, I guess you could hang out there because bullpen arms that aren't atrocious always have some value, right? But then what are you getting?
Schreiber,
the 29th prospect. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what you really get, though. So, yeah, you could sell, but we just don't have that really good free agent that just we're going to lose him at the end of the season. We don't have it.
Maybe you could trade Hunter Harvey since he has pitched like 3 games for us.
Yeah.
Can we trade Hunter Harvey for a bag of balls?
He's pitched slightly better than I have.
That's
right. Yeah.
That's saying something. That's saying something.
So you're right. They really don't. They're not in a position to sell, and they're going to be like just on the outside of. I mean, we are painting a little bit of a negative picture. If you look at the standings right now,
they still very much have a shot. They're only 2 games out of the wild card, I think, right now.
Right.
Or 2.5. Yeah. And they could get hot again. They have the ability, obviously, to win 5 or 6 in a row.
Yep.
That's
they
right.
Just have to avoid losing 5 or 6 in a row.
We just have to hit still.
They've been super mercurial. They've been very streaky.
I love it when they're mercurial.
We love mercurial.
Mercurial. A mercurial team. They are mercurial team.
They are. They're just crazy right now. And, bringing Jack up hasn't really done that much.
He does have 2 home runs and 4 RBIs, Chisholm. Let's not get too hasty.
I mean, he's doubled any other outfield production that we've had in right field.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. What's funny is those the stats of 203, 2 homers, 4 RBIs, and 13 hits is more than the other 2 corner outfielders we had there combined before.
Yes.
And that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
And he's been up for like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So...
And he's going to hit plenty more. I'm still excited he's up. He's going to be able to.
He's still fun to watch.
Streaks. Absolutely.
His at-bats are fun to watch, and he still hits the crap out of the ball. He's gonna be fine.
He robbed a home run, so that helps.
He's played really good defense, way better than I expected out of him. And he's obviously just a natural athlete. We talked about the fact that you bring a guy up like that, you put him in right, he'll figure it out because he was a pitcher, and he has. He's figured it out really, really quickly. He hasn't made any like huge mistakes.
And he robbed a home run the other day. That was pretty sweet.
It was a phenomenal catch that he made.
I didn't mention it before, but Rusty Kuntz was there at the Alex Gordon celebration. Rusty was the outfield coach that basically helped Alex Gordon make the transition from third base to outfield. He's also the guy working with Jack Caglione now.
That's right.
Teaching him how to be an outfielder.
He's going to be
apparently
just fine. He's going to be just fine.
Absolutely. He'll be just fine. Coming up, one of the things that we will do for the Royals, coming up for the Royals fans, I've got a breakdown I've been working on of the top 10 prospects in the minors for the Royals, kind of how they've done. So we'll have a little bit on that. That'll come up the next couple of weeks. Probably about the All-Star break, be a good time to do that. Give you an update on the minor league kind of prospects, what they're doing. But Royals are in a position where next 2 weeks are critical for them if they're going to have a chance. And what they've got coming up is, if I remember correctly, they have Tampa. They've got Tampa, who's
Tampa,
been hot.
And then the Dodgers,
right?
And then
Tampa's
the
been hot, and Mariners. Like, this is a tough stretch.
Yeah,
so
it is.
This could finish the season off if they don't pull some wins out of this. They really need to go over 500 in this stretch. Try to be about 500 at All-Star break, and hopefully you can make a run from that.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, they get to finish with the Pirates before they get to.
Oh, is that who they've got?
Yeah,
the
Pirates and Mets before the All-Star break, but the Mets are not going to be. I mean, they can hit the ball. The Pirates, though,
bad.
I mean, that's a battle of two anemic offenses. Which 1-0 team will win?
That may be another 1-0. Pruitt was talking about the number of games
they've lost 3 times 1-0 this year already.
Oh,
that's brutal.
That is, and only 2 games under 500, believe it or not. So let's helicopter up, look at the rest of the majors. What's going on?
So there's 3 stories I think stand out, and there's a lot going on in baseball, but 3 stood out to me that just are worth talking about. Cal Raleigh is right off the bat the big dumper from Seattle. So the catcher out there in the Pacific Northwest, 32 home runs right now as we record this. So he's batting .278 with 32 home runs, 68 RBIs. Of his 79 hits, 32 have left the yard. It is an incredible stat.
It's a decent ratio.
Yeah, he has a home run in 4 straight. It's 4 straight games again. I think he did it once earlier this season. And he's on pace. He already broke Johnny Bench's record for most home runs before the All-Star break. Like we just said, there's like 4 more series until we get to the All-Star break. So if he keeps his pace, he might be at 35-ish. That's a ton. That's a ton by the All-Star break.
So to put that in perspective, second on the Seattle Mariners has 11.
Is that Julio or who's that?
11.
There's 2, I think, with 11. And then the Royals leader is Benny with 11. So,
ouch.
Wow.
And good for Vinny, because that's his mid-20s. That's what he's going to do. That's what.
Yeah, which is what you want out of Vinny.
And hit 100 RBIs.
Right.
Julio's got 10. Jorge Polanco and Rowdy Tellez both have 11.
Rowdy Piper.
And then Cal Raleigh with 32 now.
Wow, big dumper.
Just in case you were wondering, ridiculous. I was projecting that. So he's played 67 games. I just did a little math. I did what's it called? You know, when you cross multiply. I cross multiplied, and what the equation that I learned from, I think Mrs. maybe McKinney or Mrs. Menard.
McKean.
Shout out McKean. Mrs. McKean. Thank you. Shout out Miss McKean.
She'll be so happy.
I'm sure she's watching.
I'm sure she is. That projects at his current pace to 77 home runs for Cal Raleigh for the season. So
that ain't bad.
I think that might be a record.
Yeah, he's spitting on Aaron Judge right now, who only has 28 weekling, and it's just kind of crazy. Another story. So Cal Raleigh's just being phenomenal. He stands out all by himself. Another one is PCA. So Pete Crow Armstrong, nicknamed Chaos for the Chicago Cubs. This kid just became the fastest to 2020 since the year 1900. So 125 years. He was 2020 in 73 games this season. 73 games. I mean, that's craziness. So that's something, again, Tim Sheridan gave us a little update. He gave us a preview. Said, hey, watch out for this guy. Chaos.
He did.
When he hits the bases, things happen. I don't know if he quite thought this was going to happen.
Byron Buxton numbers.
They are.
Those are Byron Buxton numbers.
Hey, Buck's doing pretty good, too. Don't get me wrong. He's been, even for being hurt, but PCA though.
Wait, Byron Buxton's been hurt.
I know, but he's been playing. He's back in the lineup. So as you mock right now, Byron Buxton, 17 home runs, 13 stolen bases. So shut up. Byron's doing just fine.
I was kind of halfway serious. Like, he's capable of doing it. He just can't play the 77 games.
He is. So what's funny, if you took the names away, between Pete Crow Armstrong and Byron Buxton, so Buxton 46 games to 58 for Pete Crow Armstrong. So of course he has 2 more weeks of baseball in him. But we have 19 doubles for Chaos. That's the biggest swing versus 9.
Wow.
And Pete Crow Armstrong, 3
got
triples.
19 doubles and 20 home runs.
Yes. It's crazy. 21 home runs.
And 20
and 60 RBIs. And Bucks, who doesn't walk at all, is still out walking Pete Crow Armstrong 23-14. And they both strike out a ton. So Armstrong's leading the strikeout race, but he has played 2 more weeks of baseball, 78-71. Bucks is actually batting 280. So it's a funny comparison you make, Prue, but they actually are kind of pretty close this season.
They kind of remind me of each other. That's why I said that.
The only very similar players.
The only thing that's different is, the
Cubs are winning.
Is Pete Crow Armstrong doesn't, pull his muscle.
Which body part are you going to go with here? I know that was your biggest challenge right there, is figuring out which part you could pull out and still be not edited by Prue. All right, so that's my shout out to Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to highlight, we had one big trade happen already, a humongous trade.
We did.
One that if we had any currency whatsoever, the Royals would have been a great fit for Royals land. But Rafael Devers traded to San Francisco, who always seems to be in the mix for these things, these big free agent offs. Like, why? How? Is this? They never seem like they're going to be there, but. And now, all of a sudden, Rafael Devers, who refused to play any positions other than third base in Boston, is like, I'm open to all positions here in San Francisco.
Amazing how getting your jar shaking a little bit will do that to you, right? Like,
his quote in Boston was, "How can they expect me to play all these positions?"
Yeah.
All these positions.
Yeah,
meaning
DH.
Switch from third base to first base.
Yeah, we wanted you to do the thing you're kind of good at, is catching the ball.
What was it, Brew? 2 steps to the right, 2 steps to the left. Come on. I can play first base.
There you go.
That's where they put you when there's the least problems you can cause there.
Right.
So I thought that was a pretty big trade, though, and surprising and kind of smart for San Fran. If you want to do it, go get him early. You got him for more at-bats. I always think it's stupid to wait until the trade deadline. If you're going to do it, do it. So you get more value.
And it is an odd-numbered year. So San Francisco tends to be in contention in an odd-numbered year.
Yeah,
this is a division we thought they would finish third in, and they're currently second right now, and they're definitely in the mix. And so good for them.
They've got a game and a half up in the wild card.
Yeah.
Game and a half up, okay.
And the Padres are in as well.
So here's the thing with the Giants is that Willy Adames was their big free agent acquisition from the Brewers, who was just phenomenal last year. He is sucking this year for the Giants. Like here's his stat line: 8 with a 294 on base, a 641 OPS, which is nauseating. But then it's not as nauseating as a 347 slug from a guy who hit 30 plus dingers last year. So he has 9 homers and 33 RBIs.
347 slug.
Yeah, it's gross. Like he's a 500 slug guy. He should be 500 slug guy.
Yeah.
And not even close.
34 home runs or something last year, right?
Yeah. And 110 RBIs or something near there. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's a lot.
Oh my God.
But he has struck out 86 times in 88 games. It's just...
Yeah. And for perspective...
77 games, but 288 at-bats. He struck out 86 times. That's gross.
9 more than the next highest guy on the team. In case you're wondering.
Basically a third of the time. 30% of the time he's striking out.
And it's not like he switched leagues either, right? Cincinnati last year. And so he's seen a lot of these pitchers before.
But if he ends up turning it around and figuring it out, Devers plus Adames in the middle of your lineup, plus Chapman plus Ramos, that's a team that can do some damage. That's a team that can do some damage.
It should be good, right?
Yep.
But, it's shocking that Willy Adames at this point has a 294 OBP. It's not shocking, it's unacceptable.
Yeah,
you
that's
cannot
Kyle
have
Isbell-ish.
Yeah, it really is. It is. It's very Kyle Isbell-ish, and I think they're paying him a little bit more than Kyle Isbell.
That's right.
So
at least he plays defense.
He's got to turn it around. If he turns it around, this team actually has a chance to catch the Dodgers.
They really do. Even though Showtime, I love the fact that you're so good that your rehab starts are in the major leagues in the first inning of games.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be your opener. I'm not going to the minors to throw. I'm just going to huck my 100-mile-per-hour pitches here.
I'll just do this right here. Let's do it live. I'm not even going to go to the minors to do this. I mean, that's crazy. It really is
that good. It's exciting to see, though, again. And I know Dodgers fans are pumped because that's what you got when you got him. You didn't just get a 50-50 guy.
Right.
Multiple MVP. You got the best player in baseball, the best player on the planet, and he also pitches.
That's
So
right.
you got Aaron Judge that pitches. And here he goes. Yeah. Let's go.
No, that division is going to be a blast to watch down the stretch because you got four teams that are this is very similar to what we thought the Royals division was going to look like in the Central.
It was, until it wasn't.
Yeah, until Detroit just ran away with it. But you're going to have four teams. Like right now, if you look at the odds, at least the CBS Sports Lines projections, right now, the lowest projected chance at the postseason in that division, besides Colorado, obviously, is San Diego at 30.3%. So even Arizona is 39% chance to make the playoffs.
I mean, they're 39-38 is the worst record in their division. Well, except for the Rockies.
Yeah, 40.
When we talk about the worst in the division, it's all Rockies.
Because Arizona won tonight, so they're 40-38 now. So except for the Rockies, which
they just don't count.
We got to give them a little shout out. They went on a little tear. They got 18 W's now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
they're heating up.
What do you expect? 18. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to do some cross multiplication and figure out how many wins that's going to mean for them.
They've already lost 60 games. I saw.
Yeah. So
43. They're projecting 43 W's.
Is that the worst? Was that still the worst?
39 is the worst, I think, of all time.
So they're projecting to not be the worst. So good on them for this hot streak that they've.
Absolutely.
41 for the White Sox last year. So it's
for sure.
It's going to be close.
They've got on a tear in their last 10. The Rockies are 5-5. So break up the Rockies.
We got to break them up before they get up to above 500 for a stretch. So what else do you guys want to talk about in baseball? Are we good for this week? Because we've really gone around the world in kind of a couple different times.
We truly have. It's pretty amazing. I mean, you're never going to find this kind of coverage anywhere else, especially with this in-depth knowledge that you're receiving. We broke down all kinds of stuff, including umpires falling in the College World Series. Like, you're not going to get this kind of analysis on ESPN. So,
personal appearances at the College World Series, giving you what the atmosphere is like, all sorts of stuff.
That's why you went down on the field at Kansas City Royals.
Touch the grass to make sure it's not bad for our players. So Jack Caglione's got good grass to play on.
Yeah, it's very nice grass.
It's nice grass. You heard it here first, Shrewdness fans.
If you ever wondered.
The grass in Kauffman Stadium
and the
is
grounds,
indeed nice.
The hosts and so forth that let you on the field, they know it's nice grass too. And they're like, please don't walk too fast. Please don't walk too heavily.
Screw up the grass.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, everybody off. Fireworks are done. Go, 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 go.
So one stat that I thought was amazing. Actually, there's two now that I look at it a little closer. How many strikeouts did you mention?
For
Willie Adames?
I think it was
88 or something like that.
78. He's got a bunch. Something like that.
So
a lot.
There's a guy for the Dodgers named
86
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Who has 92 strikeouts right now.
Does he really? He's also batting 290
92 strikeouts, and he's batting 290.
That doesn't even
seem he scored
possible.
76 runs.
So 76 runs is the other
That's a
amazing
weird
stat that I wanted to throw out there.
Huh.
He's already had 300 at-bats, but he struck out 92 times.
Yeah, a third of them.
Yeah.
That's crazy because he has 38 38 plus 6. Math 44 extra base hits. How can you not touch the ball that much and have that many extra base hits?
I don't know.
So how many runs did you say he has?
He scored 76 runs before
In
the All-Star break.
76 runs. On pace for 184 runs by my cross multiplication. 184 runs. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on pace for 222 strikeouts.
Yeah, but as opposed to
that's a lot of strikeouts.
As opposed to Damaso, a 390 on base, a 624 slug, and a 1014 OPS.
Right.
So he just, when he hits it, he murders the ball. He knocks the seams out.
So that, I don't know. I thought that was amazing. I don't want to go too much in depth on analysis of why that might be, but anyway, amazing stats I saw this week.
Let me just point out for all you old heads out there, this is the other thing you get on the shrewdness is old head takes. Tony Gwynn averaged 21 strikeouts a year.
Yeah. Like 570 at-bats, 600 at-bats a season.
He struck out 434 times in 20 years. 434 times. Shohei Ohtani's on pace to do that in 2 seasons. He's on pace to strike out 434 times in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn did it in 20 years.
Everyone worships the ground he walks on because he murders the ball. But
he does.
Yeah, it's a different game.
Different game for sure.
He does. Which brought me to, that whole idea of like not valuing those guys, which we'll have to talk about in another episode. But we watched about Luis Ariz. I watched him the other day, and he's kind of like Tony Gwynn now. He's like,
he absolutely is.
He's not quite as good a hitter as Tony Gwynn, but he's in the ballpark.
For today's era, he is.
Yeah, and he doesn't strike out, but he doesn't hit home runs. And so they kind of dump on him because he's like he can't seem to stick anywhere. And I'm like, I'll take him. I like a 330 hitter.
The top of the lineup or in the 2-hole. I mean, he's probably the best 2-hole hitter you can have. He's going to move the runner. Oh, you want me to hit the right side or left side? Okay, dump it over to the shortstop. Where do you want to hit it?
I'll do it.
It doesn't matter his pitching either. That's what's great. It's crazy.
Right. We'll talk more about. We'll go deep into baseball in future episodes because it's all we got to talk about. So
that's right.
We'll talk about that as we get closer. But great episode so far. Thank you guys for listening. Really do appreciate all the follows, likes, comments. We've had a lot of comments lately, especially on TikTok. If you follow us on TikTok, please keep that up. We love that for sure. It helps inform the show.
Awesome.
That's right.
All right, gents. Well, until next time, when we have more fun, less NBA, less NHL, probably less WNBA to talk about. We'll have some baseball, and we have a guillotine episode probably coming out later this week as well. So we're going to start hitting up the NFC divisions for that. So stay tuned, and until next week, stay shrewd.
Stay shrewd.